Welcome back to Who Should You Choose, the video series where I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments and help you with your hut lineup decisions. A late episode today. Sometimes on the weekend, I like to mess with the time so that maybe we get some different commenters, things like that. But there are two important topics I want to kind of just get out of the way early on because I'm seeing a ton of questions about that, and there was just a lot of news over the last few days. So, number one is that the most recent patch, EA did announce via Twitter that it broke icon passing. Essentially, what was happening is after the patch, if you had icon passing turn on and you ended up using it by holding down right trigger, it would basically desync the game and the other team would get the loss. Obviously, that is game breaking. But more importantly, they said that they had to just turn it off to keep the game going. That being said, they need to actually figure out a solve for this, so it is going to take some time. This is an example of spaghetti code. I've talked about this quite a bit, and so have the developers that have just come on and joined the game. And I've talked to the developers on my channel a few times, and this has been something they've talked about. So in NHL 15, when they made the jump to PlayStation 3 at the time, and Xbox One. I don't know if I have the generations right. Everything jumbles together. Maybe it's PlayStation 4. Sorry, PlayStation 4. When they made the jump to that generation, basically the engine that they used, the foundation of the coding was terrible, and they just put piled code on top of code. And anytime they go and try and fix something now, they do a fix, they do a patch, and then it breaks two other things they didn't intend. And this was the thing that broke, and now they have to take resources from what them working on the next game and go back and fix this. So it's a disaster. It is absolutely inexcusable. It sucks. And I didn't realize how much I relied on the icon passing. I didn't really use it a lot while actually making passes. I used it on the breakout. So I'd hold down right trigger and it would light up above all my players' heads and I would be able to, kind of see the play a little bit better. And then obviously in the offensive zone, getting it back to your D-man for a one-timer, for example, it was just easier to do with one button or the icon passing. So technically it's still in the game. So if you hold down right trigger and then hit a button, it will go to that player, but obviously you can't see which one it is, so that can really mess you up. So want to get that out there. Tons of questions on it. I don't know when it'll be fixed. If I was to be realistic, I would say about a month. I have no faith that they could get this done quickly. Hopefully they do, but that's just usually my go-to is that it's going to take forever. Second, we did get news that Team of the Year is going to be on on January 24th, it looks like. They released a roadmap. I did a little video on that roadmap, and they didn't really talk about Team of the Year. But this is obviously much later on in the year, and there's a couple things I do like about this. Number one is that it was clear and evident last year that when they did the Team of the Year, they only included like the first month of the season. That's why Heiskanen got it. That's why Matthew Tkachuk got it, for example. And Team of the Year is supposed to be for the calendar year, but because it is a marketing event, they have to send out the equipment to the players, get the marketing content all done and everything like that. So by them bumping it back to the end of January, hopefully they can actually take the full year or close to it, which would be a little bit better representation for Team of the Year. It also means that you're going to be saving all of your collection and all of that stuff if you're one of those Team of the Year guys that, come December, they don't do anything but hold all your collection for Team of the Year. I recommend to not do that. It's just so boring, and now you got to do it for even longer. But nonetheless, I understand if you want to go that route. They are the best cards. But I wanted to get that out of the way. So, sorry about the long intro, but let's get into the questions. Kevin says, hey, Sleeves, I have one comment and one lineup question. Again, in the last few videos, if you have a lineup question, in the beginning, first line of the sentence, say lineup question, and then do your question. I'm trying to take a bunch of lineup questions as well as just the normal comments. So, comment, I made a fantasy B&D player for the PWHL and got Gabby Hughes. She's been incredible for me, like Rob Brendamore on steroids. With her 91 faceoff rating, I use her as my center, and she's been amazing. Highly recommend picking her up. My lineup question is Barzal, X Factor McDavid, Gabby Hughes, Koivu, Gauthier, Barkov, Jack Eichel, Granlund. Defense stacked. Who should I chase next to improve my team? Honestly, man, with this lineup that you've got here, I'd be chasing a hollow. An icon. Pick one you like and work towards it because you've got a pretty incredible team. Actually, now that I'm looking, I don't know if you have a second X Factor. So if that's Koivu, if you make one team builder, you have to make 2. If you make 3, you got to make 4 because when the new ones come out, you trade in 2 to get the next one. So if you only have 1, you're just kind of left standing there. So kind of lineup question. I pulled 87 Crosby. Keep or sell for around 225 to 275,000 coins. My top centers are Rod and Stammer. I need coins for the good pack in the store. I'll be honest with you. Rod and Stammer have gotten a little long in the tooth if those are your two number 1 and number 2 centers. What I'd recommend is to sell the card and make Barkov with as much of the objectives and things as you can. And maybe if you can get 2, again, by just getting all of the stuff that EA's given you, try and get Aho as well. So I'm now convinced that they intentionally removed anything that was quality of life and won't fix anything that represents less time spent. Removal of storage, broken set filling, and multi-select, random goalie, god mode, and squad battles, all designed to boost engagement hours. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but think about why else would they remove basic stuff from last year and just happen to break, copy-paste stuff that also causes us to have to spend more time in-game, even if not being able to skip certain pack animations is an example. They don't want you to have a worse experience, which is stunning maybe sometimes. Like multi-select being broken, spaghetti code issue. They released B&D cards into the game. Didn't plan or didn't expect that when they did B&D cards to come in that they would break autofill because or break multi-select because the game can't register B&D cards and untradeable cards and all of that. And there hasn't been a fix. And if there hasn't been a fix yet, I would hazard a guess that they're not going to find a fix until NHL 26, which absolutely sucks. Again, guys, they're not trying to do this. Unfortunately, the game is built on a house of cards, and this is just what happens sometimes. It's, like I said, inexcusable, but you have to treat EA NHL not like the mega corporation EA with like the evil empire of EA. That's FIFA, and to a lesser extent Madden. EA NHL is like an indie studio, guys. It sucks, but it is what it is. That's what we have, and I don't expect any fixes soon. So maybe maybe they will bring it back. The storage set is an absolute joke. We've brought it up many times. I don't know why they can't bring that back. I'm assuming because maybe they had plans to bring it back and they already tested it and they know that if you autofill or put a card in there, it like disappears. I don't know, but communication would be sick on that, I'll be honest with you. Hey, Sleeves, I could use your help on this one. I have Makar, Boyle, Drysdale as my right-handed defenseman, and I can make Faber, but I also think it could be a good idea to hold on to 84s I have for Team of the Year. Do I make Faber or hold on to my inventory? No reason to make Faber, man. Like, those 3 defensemen are fine. You're pushing Drysdale off is, maybe that's an upgrade for Faber over Drysdale, but not a ton. I'd rather either make Barkov or a forward or Owen Power, depending on your left-handed defenseman. If you want to save for Team of the Year, go ahead. There's also no guarantee that 84s will actually be of use. This is the thing I want to discuss about Team of the Year, guys. You have no idea how it's going to work. I have no idea how it's going to work. We are all assuming. It would not surprise me if EA throws you a complete curveball come Team of the Year and cards like aren't able to be traded in for it. It's like, they know everyone saves for it. So it wouldn't surprise me if they found a way around that. That's all I'm saying. And you can't assume that any event is going to work like normal because all of the events so far have worked nothing like they have in the past, and they just kind of randomly change things all the time, like Team of the Week, where you use collectibles for the whole year so far, and they all of a sudden are just like, you know what? We're not going to do that now. Also, if you haven't spent your Team of the Week collectibles, turn them into the 80 overall in the set. Once that set's gone, which is dumb, by the way, you won't be able to trade them in, and collectibles have no use. That came from EA, and if EA scams me on this, I'm going to lose my mind. But that came from them. Do the sets. They're moving away from collectibles for Team of the Week. Can't tell you why. Hey, Slaves, I just wanted to put this out into the community. I saw female X Factors are able to be re-rolled into the Series 1 X Factors. Didn't calculate if there's any value to it, but if, like me, if you have some dupes and some free female ones from Moments, you could be one closer to McDavid. This is a good point. The female X Factors can go into the re-roll set, so if you get one for free or the choice pack or anything like that, that's huge, and you can go ahead and re-roll. So something to keep in mind. Good shout out. Racing Channel says, in my experience, the PWHL weekly moment player packs have been great. I pulled the 87 wild card with solid faceoffs and an 83 base from the same pack. Definitely worth it doing if people haven't already. These packs remind me of the Toronto Maple Leaf packs from NHL 24. If you didn't play NHL 24, you don't know what the Toronto Maple Leaf packs were. There were these packs that came out, and they only included Leafs, but it included prime times, team of the week, anything. And that's insane because the pool of cards is so much smaller. You have a way higher chance of actually pulling something good. I did those moments, the PWHL moments that gave you the weekly packs. The normal weekly packs are bronze cards. Terrible, not even worth the 20 minutes it takes to do them. But the PWHL ones, if they work the same every week and they're giving you PWHL weekly moment packs, you can almost make like a team builder every 2 weeks from the PWHL. Like these packs have been good. And if you're not going to use them for team builders or anything like that, you can use them for an X Factor like McDavid. So again, we got to see what happens in week 2. It might just be a week 1 thing, but they've been so good so far. Lineup question. I'm 183 team builder away from being able to make an 86, and I'm not sure who to go with. I already have Barkov and Sorelli down the middle. Panarin and Barzal as my top 2 right-handed wingers. I have Makar, Montour, and Drysdale for right-handed defense. Mark Howe and Ryan Smith wouldn't make my team, so I'm not sure who to do. Any suggestion of Koivu, Boyle, or Gartner? Honestly, Panarin is good, but Gartner's way better. And Koivu, he would push one of your centermen down to the third line. Actually, no, he'd probably be the third line center. That's a pretty big advantage to have. You can't go wrong with Koivu or Gartner, I'll be honest with you. Lineup question. I have the 86 Morrow, and he's got a rocket from the point, but he gets burned because of his endurance. Ugh. Should I sell him and try to get an 87 Makar, or what else? I don't hate that trade, you know? I do agree that the endurance issue, especially on defensemen, is a massive one. You really don't want to have that issue because, you have a guy out there and you don't realize it. Then, you get an odd man rush and he just gets absolutely smoked. So tough. I think it is so dumb that they removed button passing. Like, in my opinion, that was the best feature in the game in so long. It's so funny because, again, I think that people don't realize how much they were using it. I didn't realize how much I was using it. Especially when you consider that it was auto saucing. So on the breakout, if you used it, sometimes it would auto sauce, and it was just huge. And for anyone that's like, LOL, like learn how to pass without it, it's like, dude, it's a video game, and they put a new feature into the game. Do you want to go back to when they didn't have defensive skill stick, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's always funny when I see those comments. Yeah, it's a feature in the game. They got to get it fixed, and they have addressed it, so they know it is an issue, and they actually communicated about it, which is even more insane. But again, I don't know when the fix would be. Can someone define fodder? This is I don't know why everyone hates this word, but it literally is the word. I don't know what the alternative is. We need to pick up a thesaurus. Fodder, in the sense of any content creator talking about NHL, would be cards that have no value to you other than the overall that they are. So anytime you pull an 80 overall base card, right, you're not going to use that card in your lineup. It is just set fodder. It just goes into whatever set, because EA uses cards as currency, which is one of the worst formats. I hate it, but that's what that means. So the Elite Starter Pack is back for 24 hours. Bought 4 and was able to make Hologram Lemieux and a second team builder. Guys, I said this in my last video. The Elite Starter Pack is the best pack in the game currently. 90,000 coins. Do not spend real money on it. Do not do that. And you get a base X Factor, a power-up icon, and a team builder. Even if you will get a duplicate X Factor that you can't use. Like, you have to literally re-roll it to get any value out of it. And you get a power-up icon that you already have. Let's pretend you already get that. Again, you can re-roll it once you get multiple. But the team builder, you can get duplicates of those and use those as team builders. So a team builder alone is like 120, 130,000 coins in value. So it's safe no matter what. And if you don't get duplicates of X Factors and icons, you're laughing. You're that much closer. It is a pack that I would burn all of your coins on, just to get closer to those kinds of chase cards. Hey, Sleeves, are we ever going to get more free base X Factor cards, or are we going to be on the hook for the rest of the grind with McDavid with the 75-plus packs? Recently, they've really turned Wildcard into the event grind, so I don't think we're going to get many more X Factors. I could see it when Series 2 comes out, and they didn't confirm it, but the banner says more Series X Factors to come, so there will be a mail one. I would expect, I'm surprised it didn't happen Friday, I would expect that we get team builders and the next set of X Factors. It's got to happen. I would expect next week, in all honesty. It'd be a Tuesday and Wednesday release, though. They usually don't do it on a Friday because that's like the new event, so they have already got you hooked. But also right around Christmas time, when the Christmas noobs come, um, it would be big for them to just release that so that they have like new cards automatically that they can go chase. Another point I want to bring up, again, I'm trying to fit as much info into this who should you choose as possible, and use it kind of as a news episode as well. Someone brought up the point that, hey, the women X Factors, because they're a little bit higher overall, they require 78 and above items. Okay. Um, do you think that the Series 2 men X Factors is going to be the same? Yes, I do. Because EA's sets and economy, when they don't value what we would in terms of the market. So if a lot of the player base doesn't deem the women cards to be as meta or sought after to chase after, then we lower the market on them. They're less expensive on the market because we don't deem them to be as valuable, right? But EA doesn't view cards individually, it views overalls. So I fully expect it to be 78 and above. So do with that what you will. I think that the 75s and above, like all the way at 75, 76, 77, I will say that the McDavid Series 1 X Factor chase stays there all year. We got that confirmed. There's no timer on it. When the new one drops, whoever it is, the McDavid one is still there. So if you can't complete McDavid in time, you can still work towards it. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. I saw another comment about that, so just want to bring that up that you're okay. I think the B&D packs, at least the ones from moments and objectives, should always be choice packs. I have 280 overall B&D Tanevs from the Protect the Net event. B&D packs, they use them completely incorrectly. B&D packs or B&D cards are a fantastic addition to the game, but they are using them completely incorrectly, and it is just mind-boggling to me. B&Ds should be used to get cards back that you trade in that are very expensive, like Connor McDavid's Supercharged set. In the years past, you trade in those 4 captains, and you would just lose them. That was it. The B&D cards allow them to give them back to you because they can just be used in your lineup. They can't be used in sets or anything like that. It's safe for them. It's safe from the economy, and it allows you to still chase after other cards. Them giving out B&D cards is just so silly and dumb to me. It should always be tradable, but at least untradeable. I can't stand the way that they're using it. It's just very silly to me. Even when they do team builders, the next round of team builders, you should get one of the 86s when you trade in for the 89s. You should get one of them back B&D, so you can at least use it in your lineup. Hey, Sleeves, any insight on the storage set? That was my saving grace, being a clean freak. No. Again, we've brought it up many times. With no communication on it. I don't understand why it's not in the game. My guess is that they've tested it and it's broken, so they're just not able to put it in the game because they don't have a fix for it. That's my honest guess, because there's no other excuse. Lineup question. I have a pretty stacked center position with Hollow, Gretzky, Barkov, Koivu, and Couture. Wow, very good. Do I put Gretzky on right wing in the first line since my right wings are 87 Kaprizov, Kucherov, Strome, and Yager? I usually score with right wingers, so this change could improve my scoring but weaken my face-off dominance. Thanks in advance. Honestly, your fourth line's probably not taking a lot of draws unless it's like a penalty kill situation. You'd be fine with Barkov as your first line center, man. I would actually, I would definitely make that trade. Hey, Slaves, I don't know if anyone has said this yet, but the legendary pack from the XP sets has been insane. I pulled 286s, an 87, and 284s. I know 60 collectibles a lot, but it seems worth it compared to all the other packs they give you. I got to be honest with you, man. I love that you pulled this. Great luck. The odds of everyone else trying this, 99% of people are going to get 186 overall from the legendary pack. And that's the problem, right? I always give you guys the best and safest non-gamble pack because, in my opinion, that is... If you're going to spend coins and stuff, you should at least know the bare minimum you're getting and then address the value there. For anyone else that does not know yet, they either have messed up the odds on the base pack from the XP path. The trade-in is the one collectible, okay? It's a 72 overall and above. 90% of the cards are 75 and above, which is a gigantic value. I pulled an 84 Nick Ehlers today. Out of that, you'll pull a few bronzes, but not many. And if you go through the comments in this video alone, you'll see all the people that have listed their pulls. It's really crazy how good of value it is. So just want to bring that up. And to answer that, I did 30 base XP packs Thursday night. 4 cards were between 72 to 74. 24 were between 75 and 77. And my best pulls were the 83 Teppo Newman and the 86 MSP Will Smith. Like, it's insane. But EA can change odds on a pack at any time. They do not need a patch. They do not need anything like that. It can be at any time. So do 5 at a time. And if you get 4 bronzes, stop. Okay? Because we don't know when they're going to make this change. Eventually, they're going to figure it out, but I'm not telling them. So unless they get this far into the video, they're not learning. So that's going to do it for this episode of Who Should You Choose? I hope this helps out with some of the other questions that's going on in the community. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.